What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Joie Chavis. Joie Chavis is a 3-time baby mama. She has children with Bow Wow, Future, and Trevon Diggs, in that order. And apparently she is not doing so well as far as parenting on her own. Apparently it's affecting her business, her being able to function as a businesswoman, and she's just finding it to be very difficult. Well, let's have a conversation, Joy. Now, I just want to preface it by saying I've spoken about Joy before. As a matter of fact, I think the last video I made about Joy was probably when I spoke about, like, a year ago, when she was dating Trevon Diggs. He went at Cameron because Cameron made some comments about their relationship, and he got very defensive. And in that moment, I said to myself, he must be taking this relationship seriously, with Joy, only to then break up with her as soon as the baby got here, as I knew he would. It's very clear to me that men don't take Joy seriously, and she must be very fertile because pretty much a lot of these celebrity men she gets with, she gets pregnant by them. The only one that she's dated recently, as of note, that she didn't get pregnant by is Diddy. She dated Diddy very, very briefly. Diddy actually chose Young Miami and Daphne Joy over her. Right? Remember we seen them on that boat? Let me say this to you, strong, independent women. I see all this talk. I've seen this for years. I've been doing this for over 10 years, making great content, great commentary. And I've seen women talk about how they actually embrace being single mothers. They embrace the challenge of raising children on their own. They talk about how successful they are and how they can balance both. This is what a lot of these women have been saying for years. And then you have Joie Chavis, a woman who doesn't really have a talent outside of dancing. I don't know if she's monetizing it because apparently there might be some financial issues, but why do you have children with men with money and you're not getting any? Especially why is there any child support? Let me say this. Even though I'm against the child support system in America, I truly believe that if you have a child, male or female, especially if you're a man, and you're not going to be in a relationship with the mother of your child, I highly suggest you go get child support. As a matter of fact, do it yourself, because then you have something put together so that she can't be getting money from you and then years later claim you haven't been giving her nothing, because that's happened, and that can happen, to you. So my thing is this. She was with Bow Wow for some time. They had a child together, right? Then she went off the radar. She went off the radar for a while, and then she popped up pregnant, very pregnant by Future. She pops up at this, I don't know if it was a baby shower with Future. They're taking photos together, and she's just very pregnant out of nowhere. That was not a relationship. They were hooking up, and she got pregnant. Again, she must be very fertile. And then with Trevon Diggs, that relationship again happened after the Diddy situation. They started secretly dating, and then she winds up pregnant. Again, she's not married to any of these men, but she's getting pregnant by them. Nobody's wearing protection. And people say that, in this situation, her having her struggles as a single mother, they are quick to blame the men. It's always the men's fault. As if women have no agency. As women have no say-so. Like she could have told these men to put on a condom. Like she had no say-so in the matter. That's what's insane to me. They absolve these women of any accountability. Now, I'm not saying that these children are a mistake. It does take two people to have these children. But the one thing I don't like is when you have women complaining about their situation when they created the situation. You created it. Especially in this day and age, women have so much quote unquote empowerment. They've been led to empowerment They have been pushed to show how, they could do it all. And at the end of the day, if you have no skill set, you don't have the drive and the commitment to build your own, you're just going to be struggling. And that's what's going on here. Now, let me read this article from Total Pro Sports. Now, the title of it said, Trevon Diggs' ex-girlfriend and baby mama Joie Chavis speaks out about raising his child, claims having 3 kids is like having 10, which again is why you make sure that you either take birth control or you tell these men to wear protection. But she's not going to do that because she loves having celebrity children. So this is what's going to result in that. Being a mom isn't a walk in the park, and Joie Chavis just remind everyone that in the most real way possible. In a video that quickly went viral, the influencer and entrepreneur opened up about the toll of raising 3 kids, each with a different high-profile father. One is rapper Bow Wow, the other is hip-hop star Future, and the other is Dallas Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs. She said, 3 kids is like having 10. Joie said bluntly, her voice tinged with exhaustion. I need a break. Well, Joie, before you got with Trevon Diggs, let's start there. You already had 2 children. And you know what you did? You went out there, you're hopping on boats with Diddy, and then you're flying around with Trevon Diggs. You're at the Dallas Cowboys games, right? Living your best life. Where was all this exhaustion then? Before you got pregnant for the 3rd time. And listen, I could definitely see her getting pregnant again. See, women have to understand their limitations. 2 should have been enough, but it wasn't. Because she really wanted this relationship with Trevon Diggs to work. But Trevon and his brother don't wife these females. They don't. Trevon got other baby mamas he don't wife up. How many times I've spoken about him and all his broken relationships? They don't, and like, I'm just looking at this whole thing like, what type of guy he is. You know what type of guy Future was. I can't really say that she would know what type of guy Bow Wow was because she was with him years ago before the internet is what it is today, right? But you knew what Future was, and you still had unprotected relations with them. You knew what type of guy Trevon did because I'm pretty sure you followed him on socials. You saw his movements, you saw the girls he dealt with, and you got with him anyway because let's be real, and this is no disrespect. You have a groupie mentality. You have 3 famous baby daddies. That is kind of unheard of. That is unheard of. I don't know of any other female that has 3 famous baby daddies. I know there are probably some like out there, but that just tells me everything I need to know about the woman and her mentality and what she's into. The video, which shows her speaking candidly in front of the camera, caught fans off guard, especially since she's usually seen living a picture-perfect influencer life filled with luxury, fashion, and curated beauty. Behind the glam, though, she made it clear that her reality is anything but effortless. A lot of these influencers lie about their lifestyle. A lot of them are struggling. They don't make money like that. That's why they get the surgeries, because they want to attract football players, NBA players, rappers who can take care of them financially. That is the end goal of all that. That's the end goal. They want to be wifed up by one of these dudes. Joie shares her oldest daughter, Shy, with Bow Wow, her son Hendrix with Future, and her youngest child with Diggs. Though she didn't name names in the clip, her message made it clear she's handling most of the parenting on her own. Her split from Diggs became public last year when she confirmed they were no longer together, brushing off speculation by saying, "I think that's obvious." This wasn't the first time Joie pushed back against assumptions. She had previously addressed critics who labeled her a gold digger or suggested she's living off child support. Says, "I don't get child support from anyone," which is a mistake. Like, again, the only reason why she's doing this, and it's sad, the only reason why she's not going for child support is because she doesn't want these men to avoid her. and she doesn't want to be called out as a gold digger. But I'm sorry, like, if you have children and you don't have any career prospects or talent, you do need to get financial help with the children. Whether I agree with the fact that how she's going about it, at the end of the day, you should be taking care of this legally in court. I just recently made a video about Devin Haney, and he wants to have equal say as far as custody with his child, and he's handling it in court, which is the right way to do it. No money under the table. Well, he was doing that, but he realized I won't be able to see my child whenever I want to unless I go to court and seek 50-50 custody, right? Which will come with child support. You know, especially if you make more than she is, right? She's doing this because she thinks that's what men want. You know, they want a woman that's not going to go after them for child support. And that's why they knock her up, because they know, oh, she's not going to come after me for child support. And she probably tells them this. She probably tells these men she's not going to go after them for child support. And they believe it, and look what happened. Now she got 3 kids by 3 famous men. But at the end of the day, the kids still need to be taken care of. The fathers need to be taking care of the children. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the child support system, but things do have to be done in a legal manner, especially for the man, so you don't end up years later owing back child support when you like, I wasn't on child support. That's how they get you. So handle it in court. She said, I take care of mine. That history made her recent video hit even harder. It wasn't about money. It was about the emotional grind. Again, why does it take women having 3 kids for them to have like this clarity? I noticed that you got women who they'll have 1 child, they'll have 2 children, 3 children, and the next thing you know, they don't have any more children because it took them having 3 kids to realize it's too much. It's too much. 1 is too much, especially if you're on your own. Now, she says financially she handles hers, but I think that's a lie, because if financially she was in a good spot, she could get help. She'd get a nanny. She could have a family member helping her. It's clear to me that, you know, she wants a man there. She wants a man there. That's what it looks like to me. Joy didn't ask for sympathy. She simply showed what it looks like when someone reaches their limit. Fame and money might soften the surface, but they don't change the demands of parenting alone. And for Joie Chavis, that reality is raw, loud, and deeply human. Well, I would say this to Joie Chavis. You really need to prioritize yourself mentally. Because it looks to me that you're exhausted because you've done everything that you can to get you a father for your children, i.e. a stepdaddy. Trevon Diggs was not trying to be a stepdaddy. He wasn't. He was not trying to be a stepdaddy. That's why they broke up as soon as that child was born. I think women have to stop thinking that a child is going to keep a man. I know y'all saying that's not what she's saying. That's absolutely what she's saying. Because if she says it's not a money issue, she's not a gold digger, then what's the issue? The issue is about emotional support from a man. Because if you look at the trajectory of her since she's been with Bow Wow, she's been in search of a rich man who's successful, who can help her, not only financially, but emotionally. That's what it's all about with these women. That's why she gets with this guy get pregnant. I would not be shocked if she gets pregnant again. Women have to protect their wombs and think about the long term. They don't think about the long term. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.